Of the maps that Sen loves to go mutas on. We've seen this time and time again, not only in his matches against Stefano, but also in BWC. Nope, not in BWC. What was that other tournament? I'm blanking. But
NASL,
now
by
it
any
was,
chance?
of course.
Are you talking about when Sen beat Stefano on NASL?
No, I mentioned that, but there was another tournament, and I just cannot.
Sen played Stefano in another tournament?
No, not Stefano. Just in Metropolis, ZVZ, he loves to go mutas. Anyway, he loves to go mutas in Metropolis. That's all I'm trying to say. And that's probably why he picked this map. He feels most comfortable doing that style. And time again, when we see him going to Spire Tech uninhibited, he takes over. He wins this game really, really easily.
I feel like we don't see Sen in many other tournaments, so I feel like it is an NASL match that you're still quoting.
Yeah, it probably is then.
If anything, I'm looking over right now. Sen. Oh, it's probably his games against Demaga. Is that what we're talking about? A couple weeks ago, week number 8, where he won. Obviously, because he's Sen.
Yeah. Although Reddit shows something different.
Okay. Well, either way, Sen's still looking really sharp in ZVZ.
Yes, he is.
Metropolis. A huge map. That's where Mutalists excel. In general, like I guess in RTS theory, in a very big map, fast units are dominant because they can be in more places at once compared to slow units, and that's why mech is not usually that preferred. But at the same time, because mech has sort of narrow paths you can choose and lock down, that's why some turn players choose to go for it. But back onto the topic of ZVZ. Do you think Zenio's style will fly here? The kind that he likes to just go defensive baneling into roaches?
No, he will have to change it up. Roaches, they're always good, don't get me wrong. You need roaches in any matchup unless you're playing a very specific style, which is, of course, that Zergling Ultra style. That's going to be very difficult, I think, on a map like Metropolis. Zerglings, yes, they're super mobile, but I feel like really... the open positionings, not only at the third, but sort of at the natural, lend itself not to be too useful to get that mass Zerglings, and people always keep in their back pocket that roach aggression that you have to have. So I feel like that really doesn't exist on a map like Metropolis. So I think opening up with roaches wouldn't be the best, but Zenio definitely, I don't know, the way he's been playing previous to this last 3 games, I just feel like he can't keep doing the same thing. He needs to put this series into his hands rather than giving it to Sen, which he's been doing for the last 3 games.
Well, Zenio did show some life in the past few games, but to be fair, Sen was trying to close out the series with high aggression using roaches. Just a massive amount of roaches. He was on like 40 drones, so 45 drones, and Zenio was at 60. And Sen says, well, here's 60 roaches. Like, can you hold it off? And Zenio showed you, okay, so he could.
Yeah.
So Sen now goes back to the drawing board. Again, like you said, Andre, I think it's a great assumption to think that Sen would go Mutalisks. From there, you know, transition back into Infestor Roach. But I mean, we've seen also Sen get into that awkward situation where he keeps making mutas because like his opponent would go mutas as well. How should Zenio kind of prepare for this? Like now that he knows that, now that he's familiar with Sen's style for so long, what is the best way to combat that kind of build?
I think some pre-layer timing, like right as Spire should be finishing, you actually hit. That would be beautiful. And I would say that timing would be somewhere around 9:30 to 10 minutes. That would be the perfect timing, in my opinion. So get your layer up, get Glue Reconstitution, and really try to take the game in that fashion.
Do you attack the third, or do you try to just straight up kill him?
You try to straight up kill them.
Oh, okay. Because I know when you go for the Spire, like since you have an excess of minerals, you can squeeze out the hatchery and get some Zerglings.
Yeah, you want them to actually take the third base because when you hit that 9:30, 10-minute mark, they can't really materialize off of that third base, and it just gives them waste, really. Yeah, it gives them extra space to actually defend. So if they're congregating all their units at the natural, you can send like 2 Zerglings to kill all the drones, while multitasking everything at the natural, and then of course Sen's going to be in a really difficult situation where he can't really micro the drones, and he could potentially lose them all. Already we can see Sen not making any banelings. And that is the right way to actually play this out. I don't know why we see banelings out already for Zenio. You have your pathings really figured out. You have the Overlords in great positions. So there's no reason for really these preemptive banelings. If you want to make them when you see your opponent pushing out, but not like this.
Comparatively, Sen has had his gases for about a good minute, while Zenio just saturated gases 2 to 4. So Zenio will have an influx of minerals compared to his opponent, and he's been able to capitalize it by getting out a few more drones and just squeezing out whatever he can production-wise, and that's why he's up in supply slightly. Sen, though, meanwhile, we know his Muta harass is great, his control is great, his transition is flawless. Last time the center of contention was this third base of Zenio. Will he be able to hold it off against the Mutas? Will he be able to, will Sen force to cancel? Will Zenio be able to force anything out of Sen? As you can see, Zenio is trying to go for that Spire timing, and look at this. Zenio also going for his own Spire, and that's going to initiate the Muta Wars.
Muta Wars, definitely kind of a tricky way to actually play this matchup out. But it used to be the case in StarCraft 1. As you can see, Zergling Baneling just way too powerful. Not even the Queen is going to go down here. The Zerglings are basically going to be donated by Zenio. This is a really tough loss. Everything gets donated. Wow. So that should actually cue Sen to say, I can deny my opponent's third, keep mine alive. I have the giant advantage.
Well, Zenio still has a huge pack of Zerglings coming up to the right-hand side, so he has to be kind of cautious, but I feel like Zenio is not going to put non-stop aggression. He knows also the third is pretty injured because he did manage to get some damage in. But like you said, Andre, he should be able to snipe this Queen, but that's pretty much it. I don't think he can do much else. Zenio already kind of backing off with some of the bands he morphed. But now with the reveal of the Mutas, Zenio is like, well, now I guess I make Mutas too.
Yeah. But still, I mean, just having those Mutas out in the field, it's going to clear up a lot of Overlords. It's going to give him the ability to really be the aggressor, and it's very easy to have your Mutas in good positions and your opponent not so good. And when that happens, a lot of times you can just pick off a couple of drones here and there, etc. So this is a really nice position for Sen to be in. Income tab shows 47 to 49, very similar, but look at those gases, 5th and 6th, not really been taken until now, where Sen has been mining from them for quite a long time. So this is really nice for Sen, but Zenio is doing these little attacks to actually get back into the game.
Yeah, sniping Queens. This is very nice. Now he's flanking the right side. Zenio, of course, playing at an incredible speed. He's just one of the fastest Korean pro gamers. Again, trying to go for another run by the draw away attention. Cannot engage the Mutas, though. Sen's been adding Mutas very aggressively. He's going to be up to 17 over his opponent in just a second, and he's catching some of the Mutas also out of the way. Now, Zenio did invest into +1 carapace, and that is huge, Andre. But Sen is also going for a +1 flyer attack, and we've been saying that's so unconventional due to against orthodox means.
Yeah, flyer attack is normally seen as a little bit worse than Carapace, because when the glaze actually bounce off from unit to unit, the +1 doesn't really travel with the glaives. I mean, it does to an extent, but not really. Whereas the Carapace defends against the glaives a lot better. So instead of defending against only one single attack, you're defending against 3 different attacks from each Muta. So that's why it's like 3 different hit points that you're removing, whereas the attack doesn't do nearly as much damage. Of course, the cost is different. 100 for the flyer attack, 150 for the Carapace. So maybe he's thinking, I can use that 50-50 somewhere a little bit better, maybe in a higher Muta count. I don't think it really matters that much. I think Carapace overall is a lot better, as 50-50 is pretty minuscule. But as it stands right now, Sen just has an alarming Muta count. Units tab shows 24 to 16. How does Zenio actually deal with this?
Well, he has to not get caught. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's very clear that Sen can't, or that Zenio can't really confront this at all. Sen's Muta count is way ahead, just because he's able to get that third up, had that Spire quicker. He does have less drones, though, but that's not going to be the case for very long. Muta's popping in, and Sen does back off because he doesn't know how many Mutas he has, but he's also trying to draw away while attacking the third base. Zerglin's going in for the hatchery. Sen, does he have enough Mutas to combat here? That +1 carapace really kicking in. Zenio does have the Muta advantage, but he loses the third base. Great tactics from Sen.
Absolutely. I would have actually much preferred Sen to use his Zerglings to just go directly underneath the Mutas. When you do that, the Glaives will actually bounce off on the Zerglings rather than the Mutas, and you give more life to your Mutas. It's actually a really clever way to keep them alive. If you win that battle, no matter what, the third is alive or not, you win the game. But as it stands right now, Zenio still has a pretty marginal lead. Doesn't he? The units tab shows 22-22. Never mind. So Zenio is the one that needs to get a little bit of work done. But, you know, just if Zenio had more mutas, you could have actually negated that by just having those Zerglings underneath. But if Zenio doesn't kill this third base, the game's over.
Just like you said, Andre, putting the Zerglings down to absorb some of the blows, able to also add the DPS from the Queen. Sen also rallying more Mutalisks, and Zenio, his Muta count is dwindling, and that is his last lifeline.
Now Sen has complete map control with all of his mutas.
Oh,
and it looks so silly, doesn't it? Just, I have more mutas. No, I have more mutas. No, I have more mutas. And finally, Sen has more mutas. And now he's going to just apply the pressure over to the third base, deny that yet again, and he's at 150% more gas production than his opponent, or actually 50% more.
Andre, this is too much. This is Zenio's lifeline. I mean, if he just loses, if he drops his map, that's it. And the third base is getting pushed again. Sen rallying more Zerglings in at the third base while pushing at the main base. GG, and Sen advances to the round of 16 with immaculate ZVZ. Once again, Sen has defeated Zenio, and his overall record is 10-4.
He's a monster.
Yeah. Oh man, poor Zenio.
Absolutely a monster.
It's like, man, this season will be the one. This season will be the one, and then Wildcards comes up, or playoffs, or finals, and he's meeting Sen again.
He's probably like, Sen, why
did you
not show up to your matches? You should not be in wildcards.
This is so funny because I feel like the story of Sen and Zenio is like Goku and Vegeta. Like when they first started off, it was even-ish, you know. And like in the end, Goku would kind of win because he's the main character and he's always supposed to win. And like that's kind of like Sen, and like Zenio was always a little bit behind but trailing him. But now it's like at the end of the show, Dragon Ball Z Goku was so much stronger. This is like the same thing. Sen's just like way better than Zenio right now in ZVZ, and just to see the growth of Sen, the Taiwanese champion, the fourth place or the third runner-up at BWC, awesome job, and I'm very happy to see him advance.
Zenio, find yourself a hyperbolic chamber. Start training.
Train, man.
Start training.
You have to, man, because the world's gonna end, so you have to be safe somewhere. Clutch, what do you think about the overall series and wrapping up with game number 4?
Well, this definitely adds to the confidence of Sen. I mean, Zenio, say what you will about his Zerg play style, Sen definitely outplayed him. And moving into the wild cards here for him, or moving further on, I'm really excited for Sen, and I'm really excited I think the confidence that he acquired from attending the BWC to have that crowd cheer for him so loud. I mean, Froden, you were there. It's going to be great. And to experience something live, to cheer for these players, there's nothing like it. I mean, to watch these events, to watch NASL from home, it's fantastic. It's great. You get to share online, interact with the chat. But to physically go to this event, to be surrounded by people that love esports as much as you do, and to cheer for these players, there's nothing like it. And what better place than Long Beach, California? It's a great spot. There's a lot of cool restaurants. It's at the Pike. So there's a little bit more to do besides just go to your hotel.
You can go fishing.
Exactly. You can go fishing. Why not? Enjoy the outdoors a bit, as well as enjoying the finals for the NASL. The aquarium, which is a world-famous aquarium, is pretty close by as well, so there's tons to do there. Why not get there a couple days early, enjoy the West Coast, enjoy Southern California, and then attend the North American Star League Season 4 Finals. Get your tickets, www.nasl.tv/p/S4Finals, $20 off by using the LA Byte promo code.
Well, Zenio will have plenty of time to go fish because his season is done. We'll be back, guys, with our last series of the day. Mana versus sort of. I'm going fishing too, guys. Okay, we're supposed to be going commercial right now. Come on, guys. It was the whole cue. Did you ever watch TNT inside the NBA? That's what they always say. Thank you so much to Audible for providing lots of support. If you want to download a bestseller, go to nasl.tv/p/audible for a bestseller.
And you can go fishing.
Buy a fishing book on how to fish.